Today's video is brought to you by Card Kingdom, and you can order all the Strixhaven cards you need right now by heading over to cardkingdom.com. Hello everyone, it's Seth, probably better known as Saffron Olive, and it's time for another edition of Meme or Dream. That's right, after a little break, because Wizards didn't publish any lists from Arena, Meme or Dream is back, and it is jankier than ever. If you're not familiar with the idea of the series, every week, usually, Wizards publishes lists from Magic Arena that they say got 6 wins or more in a row in best of 3 at Platinum rank or better. Well, we take these decks, the janky looking ones, and put them to the test and find out, is the deck a meme and just as janky as it looks, or could it be a dream hiding behind a janky exterior? And this week's deck, I don't know what to say about it. I've played a lot of decks. I've built a lot of janky decks, and I am almost never at a loss for words about a deck. Even some of the really bad decks that we've played in the past, they kind of make sense on some level. You could see someone, they're trying to pull off a game plan, but they didn't quite get there. Maybe they're new to deck building. Maybe they didn't have the wild cards. This deck, it just doesn't make sense to me on any level. So this deck is, I guess, Exile Tribal. The best I could figure, someone did an arena search for the word Exile and just started throwing random cards in the Esper colors into their deck. I cannot see a cohesive game plan at all. The best I could figure is the deck is built around Resculpt and Angelic Concession, which let us exile a thing, creature, planeswalker, artifact in the case of Resculpt, and its controller gets a 4/4. So I think what the deck could do to potentially win a game is Unwilling Ingredient, one of our few creatures that does exile itself from the graveyard to draw a card, but we can play this on turn 1, turn 2, turn it into a 4/4, and just kind of YOLO it and hope the 4/4 gets there and our opponent can't interact with it. Doesn't seem like a super practical plan, but I think that's the idea. The rest of the deck, it just doesn't make any sense. Our creatures are Unwilling Ingredient, 1 Crystalline Giant, and 1 General Enforcer, which just makes me laugh when I read it. General Enforcer cares about legendary humans. It's the only human in our deck. It also cares about creatures in the graveyard, but all of our stuff exiles, like Angelic Ascension, Resculpt, we talked about those, but even our removal spells. We have Expel, exile a tap creature. We have Dire Tactics, which, that one also makes me laugh. Exile a creature. If you don't control a human, you lose life equal to its toughness. We need to have our single 1 General Enforcer on the battlefield, or it's always going to lose this life, but that exiles. Vanishing Verse, legit good card, but it also exiles, so I don't know how we're getting any value out of this. We also have Spell Satchel, which I really don't understand. Weathered Runestone, good against Sultai Ultimatum, I guess, but still in the main deck, maybe they're just there to try to exile the Resculpt to make 4/4s, but none of that really matters. The deck is weird, the deck is janky, there's no doubt about that, but the real reason we were playing the deck is this deck made Magic history. This is, to the best of my knowledge, the first ever deck list to be published playing 4 copies of the ultimate meme card, Divine Gambit. Divine Gambit, one of the most mocked cards that has been printed in recent years. It's just 2 mana, exile artifact, creature, enchantment, but when you do that, you show and tell your opponent. So they get to put a permanent into play from their hand. So in theory, you hit their 1-drop, they play their Emrakul or something, and you just get absolutely totally destroyed. But the thing about Divine Gambit, while many people have made fun of it, one of the responses has been, well, you haven't actually tried it. How do you know? Maybe Divine Gambit actually plays a lot better than it looks, and everyone's making fun of it for no reason. Well, this deck is going to let us put it to the test. We are actually going to sling around some Divine Gambits and see what happens. So not only are we going to find out if this weird, incomprehensible Exile Tribal deck is a meme or a dream, in a double episode, we also get to find out if Divine Gambit is a meme or a dream, and see what happens when we resolve it. Are we killing ourselves? Is our opponent really just ramping into a huge finisher? Maybe it's not as bad as it looks. So anyway, that is the deck. Divine Gambit, Esper Exile Tribal, with a totally incomprehensible, ununderstandable, mind-blowingly confusing game plan. But let's jump into some matches and try to find out if it's a meme or if it's a dream. As soon as I saw this deck, I was at a loss for words. I really don't know what to say about this deck. It is absolutely blowing my mind. I don't know, we've played some really janky decks, and a lot of times they're like janky, but they're janky in a way where you're like, okay, someone who's missing wild cards, or maybe they're a new player to Arena. This deck, it seems like, I don't even know. I don't even know what this deck is trying to do. Like, I don't know if I've ever just been so completely befuddled at the idea of a deck. It just doesn't make sense to me. Like, it's in colors and it's efficient, but I don't understand what this deck is trying to achieve. But maybe we'll figure it out as it goes along. Oh my god, that's 2 Divine Gambits and a Swamp. Ugh. And this deck also has, like, a pretty real mana base, so I don't think it's, like, completely budget choices. Oh. Well, mostly I'm excited about casting Divine Gambits and just seeing what happens. Like, I don't know, maybe they're great. We can't keep this, though, because we have no mana. Well, go Mecha Godzilla, I guess. Opponent does not appear to be playing an ultimatum deck, so Weathered Roostone might not be exciting. At least we can exile it eventually. We're not going to reveal anything. Your go. Well, we shall see. Opponent reveals a land. That's more Weathered Runestones, alright. Opponent, hopefully you're not planning on having any non-lands enter from graveyards or libraries, or to cast spells from those areas. Opponent, what do you say? What do you say, Fred? Snow-covered island. Oh my god, it's a Divine Gambit. Well, look out, opponent. Hexproof? Oh, we did spin Hexproof. Okay, that's actually legit. Are one of Mechagodzilla the weapon spinning into exactly Hexproof might be a way that our deck can actually win a game. It seems possible. Opponent runs out of Bone Crusher Giant. Well, we will play a land. Do we cast it? We would like to attack with our Crystalline Giant. That would be great. Oh my goodness. But then they can just spin into something even better. They can put like a dragon into play. You know what? I mean, this is what we're here for. Boom. Out of here, Bone Crusher Giant. Out of here. No whammies, no whammies. Big money. Alright, well, that's not great. Oh, we would have spun flying anyway. Well, get in there, Crystalline Giant. Oh, no. Oh, there's our boom combo. Unwilling Recruit. What do you say about that? Go to combat. Give us those counters. It now has Death Touch. Well, go attacking. Opponent takes it. Oh, that's what you think, opponent. That's what you think. Think you're going to bounce our unwilling ingredient, eh? We got a plan for that. Oh my god, and they have Frostbite too. Well, at least we can exile it from our graveyard to draw a card. Well, I will say, our first attempt at Divine Gambiting something was not great. Not ideal. Reach. Well, we can't attack. No attacks. So, I think we just lose this game because we cast Divine Gambit. Huh. Could you imagine if we did not cast Divine Gambit, and our opponent did not get a turn 3 Shark Typhoon? Wow, that is what I expected. Oh my god, and a dragon. Sure. And a treasure. Yeah, bring it. Bring it, sharks. Oh, I think this one is officially over. Yeah, well, so far, not great for Divine Gambit. Oh my god. This is one where I'm really... I am not sure how someone won 6 times in a row with this one. This one blows my mind just a tiny, tiny bit. But, I mean, we're going to cast our Divine Gambits. Like, that's what we came here for. That was the whole point of this. So if we have Divine Gambits, boom, oh, wow, combo. Oh, that's a combo. Turn 1, land, Unwilling Recruit. Pass the turn. Turn 2, make it a 4/4, maybe. Well, let's play Weathered Runestone, I guess. A card that we would board out if we could. I feel like just casting Angelic Ascension pretty risky because our opponent can kill it. All right. Well, go to combat. Attack ya. Oh, 4/4 while you're tapped out. Good game, opponent. Good game. As long as we don't happen to draw into a Divine Gambit, we're probably fine. Opponent passes. We'll play a land, play the Satchel, go attacking. Please no Brazen Borrowers. About it. All right, Little Shark. Sure. Yeah. So opponent's going to chump. Okay. However, get that counter, get that 4/4, Yorgo opponent. For some reason, we have Dire Tactics with a single human, and we have Divine Gambit as our removal. It is the least logical set of removal I have ever seen. Well, kill your dragon. Hit ya. Is this going to work? Our opponent is down to 10. Land. Another Galazeth Prismari. I'll go attacking. Opponent takes it to 2. Play the land on black. Dire Tactics. Opponent counters. Well. Why are we playing spell set? Why anything? Why anything with this deck? You know what we need? We need Divine Gambit. We need Divine Gambit, and I guess white mana. I don't go to combat. I mean, this is all we can do. Attack. Oh, there's a Brazen Borrower. There's a Brazen Borrower. Yep. We almost made it. So close. Opponent blocks and blocks. Oh. So close. But now... Well, if we find... Oh, Goldspan Dragon. Okay. If we find some spells, we can eventually draw a card for 3 mana. Oh, my God. All right. Well. Yeah. Well, I will say we actually did things that game. That was perhaps, you know, about as good as I could imagine that deck working. We actually made like 4/4s and almost killed our opponent. No Divine Gambit action. Can we get closer than that? We got an opponent to 2. That's more than I would have guessed looking at this deck. It's still blowing my mind. Even just thinking about it now. So far playing it has not... Okay, spell. So far playing it has not made it any... Oh boy. Well, maybe we can Divine Gambit a Winota. Or Divine Gambit a Selfless Savior so our opponent can ramp into Winota. Opponent. Plains. And Elzid. Protection for days. Oh my God, Selfless Savior. If our opponent can go land Winota, that is very, very bad for us. Well, go to combat. Attack you. I think we got to play the white source just in case. Just in case we draw Divine Gambit. Opponent. Bone Crusher Giant. Goose attacking. Oh dear, there it is. I think we gotta wait though. I think we have to Mecha Godzilla. Spin into reach. Take that flyers. Opponent has a lot of layers of protection though. That is the issue. There's the land. Ugh, there's the Bone Crusher. Opponent passes. Well, we will play a land on white. Spell Satchel. Save us, Elephant. I guess Expel does exile, which is a bonus. No attacks. Please no. Please no Winota. Please no Winota. No Winotas. No Winotas. Land. And. Okay, Blade Historian. Big attack. Well, block and chump. Actually, let's kill the Elcid. Block, chump, kill Elcid. Alright, I think it might be time for Divine Gambit. Down to 15. Well, yeah, can't have that sticking around. Come on, be good for once. Once, just once. One time, Divine Gambit. One time. One time. One time. Oh! That's another Blade Historian. Alright, well. Okay. So, I guess that was quite literally 2 mana do nothing. Pass the turn. That was quite literally pay 2 mana. do nothing, right? Oh, God almighty. And winnow? Oh, alright, sure. Whiffs with the first one, does not whiff with... Alright, yeah. Well... My new goal for this deck, I don't think it's to win a game. I just want to resolve a single Divine Gambit that doesn't kill us. If we can get one good Divine Gambit, that will make this all worthwhile. Just one. And remember, unlike the rest of our deck, which obviously is really weird and strange and janky, Divine Gambit is just doing what Divine Gambit does. We could be playing top tier, Jeskai Control or Mono White or something, and in theory, our opponent would be putting just as good of stuff into play. So even though the overall power level of our deck might be, jank tier, Divine Gambit should be roughly as effective in our deck as it is in any other deck. So even though you can argue that, our deck probably won't do, I don't know, resculpt justice. Maybe it's not showing off the full power of General Enforcer or something. Divine Gambit is what it is. Well, that's a Divine Gambit. When we even get our General Enforcer. All right, sure. Planes, go. Opponent. Tab land. I'll play a land. Spell Satchel. I think we actually need our opponent to attack with creatures so we can exile them before Winota comes down. Well, General Enforcer. I guess if we find the mana, we can resculpt in Winota. A 4/4 Elemental is somewhat better than dying immediately to Winota, slightly. Good luck figuring out what to take out of this hand, opponent. Will this be the first time in the history of Magic Divine Gambit is spellbound? Is it possible that it's finally happening? No. Opponent takes an expel. That makes sense. That's actually kind of a playable card. Well, go Dagon. Opponent takes it. Play a plains. And I guess we pass. I feel like we gotta expel something this turn, and then next turn we can maybe do multiple things. At least our opponent doesn't have any non-humans for Winota. And this does have to tap to attack. General Enforcer is so awkward for this deck. It is ridiculous. It needs creatures in the graveyard to exile to make tokens, but all of our removal exiles. And then we don't really have creatures, and it cares about legendary humans, but our other creature is a frog, and also one giant. Opponent, no fear. Boom. Out of here. Hopefully we draw white mana to get rid of this Winota. Wow. Well, I guess we don't need white mana. Well, I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. Divine Gambit. I mean, this one's gotta be a good one, right? They can't play anything better than Winota. So, upgrade? Alright, Blade Historian. I mean, that probably will also kill us, but it's not a Winota. Pass the turn. So far, we've cast, I think, 3 Divine Gambits. Once our opponent ramped into a 6-drop, twice they have put in something with the same mana. So far, we haven't even got our opponent to downgrade, like even a little. We haven't even got the, oh, I had to put a 1-drop into play or a land. It's always been equally as strong as... Oh, I think we got to do this. We need to hit blue mana. That's not blue mana. I'll play this on black. Unwilling ingredient. Go. Opponent. Considering the possibilities. Oh! They had another Winota, but they didn't put it into play because they were afraid of Divine Gambit. Oh my god, our Master's Lieutenant. Yeah, well, I think we're dying. Down to a very low life total. Yeah. That doesn't even get Winota. Well, yeah, sure. Draw a card. I don't think it matters what. We don't have the mana for Divine Gambit. That one could have worked. That one could have actually worked. Whew. All right, we're getting there. Close. That game we actually survived a couple of turns, so heading in the right direction for sure. All right. This is the time. This is the time for Divine Gambit to to actually save us. I got a good feeling about this one. Well, okay. Spell Satchels. I mean, this deck is so strange that I think this is probably a pretty keepable hand. Like, what are we expecting? Like, what are we hoping for outside of Spell Satchels and an Expel? Oh dear, it's cycling. Okay. How can we beat a cycling deck? Well, we're going to be able to kill the Flourishing Fox. That's good news. Weathered Runestone doesn't seem super helpful. Maybe if this is a weird build that has Velomachus, then it might do something. Opponent, Valiant Rescuer. And cycles. Alright. This is a matchup where I think Divine Gambit might actually be good, too. Hopefully we draw a Divine Gambit in this one, because... oh boy, we're dying on so many different levels. Hopefully we draw a Divine Gambit, because I feel like Divine Gambit would actually be good. Like, what are they going to put into play? Unfortunately, I don't think we can beat a Valiant Rescuer. That's the drawback. Opponent gets in, hits us. Down. Oh my god, blue mana at least. Well, Runestone. Satchel. Yeah, makes a token. Cycles. How? Oh my god, it's another one. Alright, we need to draw some resculpts so we can turn these Weathered Runestones into 4/4s to block a Valiant Rescuer. Opponent hits us. Down to 2. Well, that is a resculpt. Unfortunately, we're already dead. Whew. Alright. Well, we didn't draw enough Divine Gambits. I think that's the issue. If we had drawn Divine Gambits, whew. And I'm not even joking this time. I actually think the Divine Gambit's probably really good in this matchup. This might be the time. I mean, that's our big goal, is to get one good Divine Gambit, to prove that it is possible, in the right circumstances and matchup, for Divine Gambit to not lose us the game. Ooh. We got the Divine Gambit, but only one land. This looks like a lot like our last hand. Well, island to the bottom. Alright. I don't know about these satchels. I'm not even sure, like... I don't get it. I don't get any aspects of this deck. Oh my... Those look so much like last hand. If we draw our second Weathered Runestone, it'll be exactly an instant replay of last game. I don't understand what these spell satchels are supposed to do. So when you cast or copy a spell, you put a counter on it. You can remove a counter to add mana, except our deck is already super cheap, so I'm not sure what adding mana does. And then you remove 3 counters and pay 3 mana to draw a single card. Not especially efficient. More lands. Well, at least it wasn't a Runestone. Alright. Well, we're going to need to draw this Divine Gambit quickly. None of this makes any sense to me. None of it makes any sense. Oh, opponent cycles. Sure. Flourishing Foxes. Yeah. Land. Come on, Divine Gambit. Well, that does deal with a Fox. Unfortunately, it costs us a lot of life. Because we have a single human. And we did not draw it yet. All right, there's the Weathered Runestone. Come on, Divine Gambit. Divine Gambit gives us the tiniest bit of hope. As long as there's no Zenith Flare. Yeah, there's a mountain about it. Oh, Pyromancer. All right, we need 2 Divine Gambits. Swamp. Not going to do it. Oh, that was Divine Gambit's chance, too. That was the oh, her rank is absolutely disappearing at frightening speed. That was our chance. That was our chance to have a good Divine Gambit. Well, we got another couple rounds for Divine Gambit to show us something. It would be sweet to win it. We almost won a game with this deck. We came close. Maybe we'll try mulliganing more aggressively. Well, okay. This can kill stuff. That seems fine. So, every card in our hand says exile. Oh, is it time? I think we gotta wait. Well, let's just pass. Let's just pass. We have 5 exile spells. Elcid. Okay. Opponent. Well, exile that. Take 1. Play this on blue. Expel. So we're killing things. We need something that we can Angelic Ascension. Faceless Haven. Season. I think we got a plan for that. Oh, another one. All right, not yet. We're gonna wait. We're gonna wait. So what we can try to set up is Divine Gambit. Our opponent puts something brutal into play. Then we Divine Gambit again. All right, so exile Hollowblade. Well, I think it's time. Unless we draw something else. I mean, what else are we gonna do? Just get beaten down by Luminarch Aspirant? All right, threat dealt with. Opponent gets a counter. All right, let's King Narfi's Betrayal. Get a Skyclave Apparition. Get a Unwilling Ingredient. Wow, somehow we actually hit a creature. That's impressive. Opponent plays a land. Hollowblade. Dranith Magic. Jeez. Alright, so now we have to kill the Magistrate so we can cast our other stuff. That's awkward. Alright, Divine Gambit. Our opponent's down to 2 cards in hand. We have waited as long as possible to make you good. Did someone just search for the word exile? Did someone just search for the word exile and put every card with the word exile in it? Alright, out of here. Come on. This is your chance, Divine Gambit. This is your chance. This is your chance. Come on now. Oh, Lord. Lord. We just put him into another one. And now we lose a King Narfi's Betrayal. Maybe this video should just be us casting Divine Gambit. Maybe that should be it. Alright. This time it's gotta work. They only got 1 card in hand. One single card. Ha! Okay. We have successfully we're dead. But we did successfully cast a Divine Gambit without it killing us. It is possible. It's possible. Okay, broken. We figured it out. Divine Gambit, new tier 0. This is the most ridiculous thing I've ever seen. Oh. Alright, we're on the play. I feel like this deck could use more creatures, so we actually have creatures this time. Alright. Unwilling Ingredient. Opponent. It even has menace. I think that's game over. General Enforcer. We could use blue mana. Menace you. Down to 19. Winning. I think this is the first time we've been in the lead. Opponent, Elzid. Well, another one of those. Play a land. Go attacking. Where's all of our Divine Gambits? We need a Divine Gambit. Oh, another Luminarch Aspirant. And a Selfless Savior. Alright. Exile removal, please. Opponent. Growing the Dorks. Attacks. Well, we were going to double block. Opponent can save it, but I mean, I don't know what else our unwilling ingredients are going to do. Opponent sacks. Divine Gambit. Plains. Ugh. Maybe this man is not very good. Pass the turn. Faceless Haven. That's a good card. Wow. I think our opponent's just flexing. Run that out on the backside that doesn't do anything, but why not? Yeah, I don't even think our opponent... Yeah, got him. Got them. We'll pay the 1. All right. Divine Gambit. 2 in a row? 2 good ones in a row? No. All right, well. Pass the turn. I think we're dead. There's a Faceless Haven. Opponent. Gonna go attacking. Grow the Magistrate. Well, we will... I mean, I don't even know if it matters. We're mostly just not scooping because we could draw another Divine Gambit and see what happens. Expel. I mean, we're still dead, though. All right. Well, one more to go. I don't want to make early judgments about a meme or dream deck, but feeling kind of confident this one might be a meme. It seems possible. But this, I mean, maybe this is where the deck shows what it can do. So I think what we're going to do for this last game, we're going to aggressively mulligan for 1-drop plus way to turn it into a 4/4. Because I think that's the only way we have a shot of winning a game. The one time we came kind of close. Ugh. Well, okay, I take that back. We have our one Crystalline Giant, which is also a kind of real card. So I think we have to keep this one because of that. We got Divine Gambit, so how can we possibly lose? Doesn't even say Planeswalker. Creature, enchantment, or artifact. I guess adding Planeswalker to the mix that'd be overpowered. Too good. Although you can put a Planeswalker into play with it. Alright, hit ya. Well, if we can spin like Hexproof into Lifelink, that would be a thing. Alright, exile that. Take 2. Does every card in our deck say exile? Yeah, play a land, Mecha Godzilla. Hexproof. First strike. Alright, well, hit ya. First strike's not bad. Not as good as Hexproof in the moment, but it's something. Fervent Champion number 2. Please tell me you can't kill it. Goes attacking. I think we got to take it for this turn because we don't really want to lose this to a Bone Crusher. We're just out of luck. This is our hopes and dreams. Are riding on the back of Mecha Godzilla. Resculpt. No blue mana. Deck might be a little light on blue mana. I'll play a land. Go to combat. Lifelink. Lifelink, Hexproof. Either one. We get Reach. I would say not the most helpful ability. Well, opponent takes their beats. Expel a Fervent Champion. Gotta do it now because if we wait, then it pumps the other one and we take more damage, so... Alright. Well, lifelink, please. Opponent. Faceless Haven. Still short of snow to actually activate it, though. Oh, well, there goes our hopes and dreams. Now our hopes and dreams is blue mana, I guess. Opponent hits us to 11. Annex. Not blue. Well, alright. Alright, it does exile. No tokens. Come on, Divine Gambit. Come on. Yes. Nothing. Upgrade. Alright. Well, we did cleanly get rid of the Annex. That's good. If we draw another Divine Gambit, then we can potentially get rid of the Tor brand, and our opponent is... Oh, they could have put Embercleave into play too. Alright. Yeah. So we take Death. Huh. I wonder how Divine Gambit was made. There's no way that they made all these... There's no way that they made all these special versions of it, and all these promos, and all this special art. Thinking it would be a laughingstock. It had to be powerful at one point in their design. So we can give our opponent 4/4s. We got the Spell Satchel. We need blue mana. Alright, well, I mean, we're going to keep. Hopefully we find blue mana. If we do, then we have the draw we were talking about, where we need to make a 4/4 quickly, basically. Opponent, Fervent Champion. Goes attacking. Alright, there's the blue mana. Okay. I can feel it coming together. We might be getting there. Land. Fireblade Charger. Opponent hits us. Now swamp. And pass the turn. Alright. I think we got a plan. Opponent. Annex. So we... Actually, alright. Sure. You get an Annex. We will exile... Annex. Take some damage. Bring it, opponent. No one expects a resculpt. Alright, resculpt. Upgrade. Eat it, Fireblade Charger. Okay. That's a 4/4. That's a legitimate 4/4. Go to combat, attack ya, hit ya. Play a Plains. Now I guess we can Angelic Ascension our Elemental to untap it, essentially. Opponent, land. I mean, opponent's down to 16. We dealt damage. Damage has officially been dealt. Opponent goes to combat. Attacks. We take it. Down to 12. Opponent passes. Well, land on blue. Hit ya. Are we going to trade? Opponent's that worried about it? I mean, yeah. Hopefully we draw another creature. Boot it. Land. Another Fervent Champion. Opponent hits us down to 8. Alright, well, Divine Gambit. You can save us. Maybe. Down to 8. We did legitimately deal damage, though. Alright, opponent's only got one card in hand. We gotta be good now. Opponent passes. Weathered Runestone. Well, Annex, out of here. One card! This has gotta be a good Divine Gambit. That looks like lethal. Alright. Well, Weathered Runestone. So now we can... Angelic Ascension of Fervent Champion. Just to let us live a turn. Of course, our opponent does... Our deck is really good at making our opponent's creatures better, isn't it? Our cards that look like removal actually are just upgrading our opponent's creatures. And that's a land, and... Oh, well, 5 matches up, 5 matches down. I think we can safely declare this deck to be a meme. We went 0-5 in matches. We also went 0-10 in games. We did have one game where we kind of got close to winning. We got our opponent down to 2. And the way I could see this deck actually winning a game is kind of how that game went. We managed to play like Unwilling Ingredient and Angelic Ascension it. And then we played a Spell Satchel and resculpted it and had 2 4/4s. And our opponent kind of like stumbled on mana. They couldn't answer it. They did eventually find their Brazen Borrowers, find their blockers, and were able to, control our 4/4s. And at that point, we just don't have enough threats to reasonably be able to win the game. But we almost got there. So if the deck is ever going to win, I think that's the way it's going to work. Really, though, there's a lot of things that are just not right with this plan. Like, I really don't understand what this deck's trying to do. Many of the cards are bad. There's not enough creatures really to support the Resculpt Angelic Ascension plan. Our removal choices are weird. Even the creatures we do have are weird choices. Like, why Unwilling Ingredient? Why General Enforcer outside of the word exile existing on them? So the deck, this is one where I don't even know if I would try to fix it. Like, I don't even know if I'd call it a deck. Like, it's kind of just a random pile of cards with the word exile on it that aren't really related in any way that makes sense to my brain. So the deck itself, it's certainly a meme. However, this was a double episode. We got to cast Divine Gambits, and we actually cast many Divine Gambits. I think we cast 7, but Divine Gambit was also pretty much a meme. We did have one Divine Gambit that we cast, and our opponent did not have a permanent to put into play. We still lost the game, of course, but that Divine Gambit, it was actually a good removal spell. All the other ones, our opponent was either able to put sometimes the same exact card into play, which was kind of hilarious. We're like, oh, Divine Gambit, your Blade Historian. And our opponent's like, you know what? I got another one. Put it back into play. Or something of equal mana value, or the worst case, our very first Divine Gambit, we hit a Bone Crusher Giant so we could attack, and our opponent, who was stuck on mana, not really making a ton of progress, slammed a Shark Typhoon into play. So we ramped them into their big finisher, and then they just cast, random spells, made Sharks, and won the game. So I would say Divine Gambit's a card where we saw there are situations where it could be good. Those situations, though, don't come up very often. I would say, based on our experience today, maybe 10% of the time, Divine Gambit is a good removal spell. The other 90% of the time, Divine Gambit, at best, does nothing, where you exile something and your opponent puts something just as good back into play. So you're essentially spending 2 mana to get a card out of your opponent's hand, like a weird discard spell, sort of. Or, at worst, it literally just makes you die, where we saw the worst case where opponent ramps into their Shark Typhoon and kills us because of Divine Gambit. So I don't think Divine Gambit, it didn't sell me. I think that is clearly a meme as well, just as much as this deck is. Last thing about this deck, if you do want to try upgrading this deck, like, how would you go about fixing this deck? And I will say, I don't think that it's necessarily fixable. However, there are a couple of cards that I think are interesting, at least. Like, Stonebinder's Familiar. This seems like the perfect 1-drop for the deck. If you are going to be Exile Tribal, how about the 1-drop that actually benefits from you exiling stuff and grows into a big threat? So if we are just going to play all these exile effects, not sure why we wouldn't play Stonebinder's Familiar. That's a 1 card in Standard that I think is actually, like, sort of a payoff for exiling your own stuff. I would say, if I was going to try to salvage something from this deck, probably the way I would go about it is to try to focus almost exclusively, cut most of these cards, and try to focus almost exclusively on Resculpt in Angelic Ascension. Because we have seen similar plans work before in the past. Like, in Soul Artifact, that was a tier standard deck. Just 2 mana, turns an artifact into a 5/5. So we've seen in Soul Artifact work. We've seen similar decks work. We've even seen some of those work in, like, Pioneer, in other older formats. So maybe there's a way to build, like, a Angelic Ascension Resculpt deck. Would this deck be, like, super powerful? I'm not 100% sure. I mean, I would think the answer is still, it would probably be budget or fringe. But if I was going to try to build with something similar to what we were playing today, I would probably overload on 1 mana artifact creatures. I would also play Stonebinder's Familiar. I would play All That Glitters, and then I would fill out the rest of the deck with, like, exile-based removal. Some of the stuff that we were playing, it would not be Divine Gambit, which we are up to 8 of now, thankfully. But I would probably play, like, Skyclave Apparition. That's, like, actually legit good exile-based removal. Maybe play Vanishing Verse, something like that, and try to be this weird, like, aggro-y, tempo-y, combo-y style deck with Resculpts and Angelic Ascension. Of course, this isn't super similar to what we were doing before, but maybe this would be a way to sort of salvage what we were trying to do. I don't know what the last card should be. Throw in whatever. I mean, maybe Maybe we play one just for the memes. But yeah, I think this is the direction I would head. Something like that if I wanted to try to salvage this build. But I would say do not play the original build. It is a deck that I don't know how it could win a game. Honestly, like one of the things we try to figure out in this series is how could these decks go 6 wins in a row on Arena? And I would say that this is a heart attack tier deck, which means your opponents would literally have to have a heart attack in the middle of your game 6 times in a row, so you win by default for this deck to win 6 times in a row. Like, I really don't see any other way that the original build of this deck could actually win 6 times in a row. Like, it has to be disconnects. It has to be some fluke like that, because there is no way that this deck is actually playing a full game of Magic against actual opponents and just beating them. I don't know if this deck could actually win a match. Like, we almost won a single game, but that one game out of 10 was the only time we almost did something good with the deck. I think otherwise we mostly did absolutely nothing. We maybe hit our opponent for damage one other time across 10 games. So I'm not convinced this deck could even win a match, let alone win 6 of them in a row. So I don't know what else to say. It's a meme. Divine Gambit's a meme, but at least we got to cast it and find out. So that's been Esper mind-blowingly incomprehensible Exile Tribal featuring Divine Gambit. That's been our meme or dream for this week. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed the brutality, and I will talk to you soon.
Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoyed it, help us out by clicking that like button down below. And to keep up on all the latest and greatest, click that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit that bell icon to get alerts whenever we have new videos. And if you want to, check out some of our other sweet videos here and here.